This is Brandon with Fleet Feet, and today we've got a really exciting review for you all, and it is one of the most reliable and popular running shoes on the market, the Brooks Ghost 17. And as many of you may already know, this is a fan favorite among so many. And it's a fan favorite because of its smooth ride, its dependability and reliability, and its really nice performance and comfort. A quick teaser, this shoe is definitely a bit softer and more responsive than that of the previous version, so if that's something you like, keep watching. And if you want to learn even more about this shoe, let's dive in and talk all about it. But before we can go any further, please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. It really supports us as we continue to put out new videos. Now, let's just break this shoe down and start with the upper like we typically do. The Ghost 17 features an engineered mesh upper. And Brooks developed this upper in mind with two things, the upper being breathable and having a nice lockdown and fit. And our team did find that it has the right balance of flexibility and structure. And while it keeps your foot locked in place, it doesn't feel too restrictive. And something that we did notice, especially on our daily miles or even long runs, typically Brooks does make really thick and warm uppers. This one actually is a bit more breathable and thinner than we remember. But even though this shoe is on the more breathable side, it doesn't lack that comfort and plushness that we typically like to see in a Brooks upper. The heel collar and tongue are nice and plush, and the tongue itself is not gusseted, but again, like we said, we didn't have any issues with lockdown and fit. But if you're wondering whether this shoe or another shoe from Brooks is going to fit best for you, the best way to figure that out is to actually walk into your local Fleet Feet store and try this shoe on for yourself, or you can go through the Fit ID and outfitting experience and find out all of the data about your foot and the shape of it and whether this shoe or another one is going to fit best for you. And now let's move down to the midsole, and this is where things start to get really interesting. The midsole of this shoe remains the same with DNA Loft V3, and if there's one thing that Brooks loves is its nitrogen infused foams, and that is exactly what you get here. Though this version might be a bit tweaked, even though we did say it's sort of a new midsole, but it's not a new midsole. It's the same name, but it definitely feels a little bit different. This model of the Brooks is much softer and way more responsive than that of the 16. And one of the things that I noticed, and a lot of our reviewers noticed, is the actual impact absorption of this shoe is much greater. And while there is a lot of impact absorption, especially around the heel, there is a really nice energetic toe off. And the drop of the shoe comes in at 12 millimeters with 36 in the heel and 24 in the forefoot, making it a pretty reasonable stack height and drop for a daily trainer. And now let's move on to the outsole. And the outsole here is pretty typical from what we see in other Brooks running shoes. And if you look closely on the outsole itself, Brooks has what they call segmented crash pad outsoles, which are basically there to ensure a nice smooth transition from heel to toe. And whether you strike as a forefoot runner or a heel striker, this shoe has got you covered. And as with other Brooks daily trainers, we really didn't have any issues with traction or fit. The traction of this shoe was great when we tested it out on the roads and when we were doing treadmill sessions as well. And one really key thing to point out here is the durability. If there's more outsole rubber and it is very durable, it's going to last a long time, so you're definitely going to get a lot of mileage out of this shoe. And now let's break down the ride and performance of this shoe. Well, like other Brooks models in the past, this one still offers that plush yet balanced ride. And it's really just ideal for easy miles or recovery days. And you could probably take this out for a few long runs as well if you'd like. The DNA Loft V3 midsole keeps it nice and comfortable while providing just enough responsiveness for a really lively underfoot feel. And whether you're an experienced or a beginner runner, the Brooks Ghost 17 is going to be able to accommodate all types of athletes and runners. And Brooks intentionally designed the shoe to be that way. It's inviting enough for a beginner runner, but if you're an expert athlete or you consider yourself an expert runner, you can put this shoe on and you're gonna love it. And for one of our reviewers, Max, he found that this Brooks shoe just provides that nice, classic, smooth Brooks transition. And he loves how the cushioning feels on foot. It's not too soft and mushy, but it's making it really ideal for those longer miles. And for him, it's just always that really reliable shoe that never feels too harsh. Even when he's running on back-to-back training days, he can still pull this one out and it still feels great. And again, Heather really echoes that idea of balance. She definitely found that this shoe was very balanced as well, just like Max. She noted that with the DNA Loft V3 cushioning, this shoe just had that really nice bounce to it and that responsiveness that she noticed. She said for her, this shoe is great for recovery days, or just one of those runs where she just wants to keep the pace steady. And for me, I just found that I really enjoyed the versatility of the Brooks Ghost 17. Not only is it accommodating, but it's nice and snappy, and it just has a really nice cushioned feel. I definitely found that this shoe was much faster and more responsive than that of the previous model, but it didn't lose out on some of that cushioning that I really enjoy. And for me, this is a shoe that I'm mainly going to take out on daily training miles. I think if I want something a little bit faster, if I'm going to pick up the pace, I'd go towards something like the Hyperion. And if I'm looking for something even more cushioned, but I want more of a long run feel, I'd go for something like the Brooks Ghost Max or the Glycerin Max. And the weight of this shoe comes in at 9.8 ounces or 277 grams for the men's model and 8.4 ounces or 238 grams for the women's model. And the price of this shoe comes in at $140, which is right around the same price of other daily trainers out there right now. But the real question is, who is the Brooks Ghost 17 best for? And this shoe is mainly best for beginner runners. They probably don't know what they like yet, and they're still just sort of trying to figure it out. And so for them, starting with a neutral or basic daily trainer like the Ghost allows them to start with an industry standard. And from there, they can really branch out and explore their own tastes and just figure out what running shoe is going to fit best for them. But this shoe can also work for runners who know exactly what they want and what they're looking for. Someone who's looking for no frills, no bounce, just good old reliable daily trainer can find that right here in the Brooks Ghost 17. This shoe is great for someone who doesn't enjoy really high stack heights or doesn't want the latest and greatest tech or really advanced foams, but they're just looking for that basic staple to really make sure that they can get in all of the daily miles that they're looking for. But if you are someone who is looking for something a bit more dynamic than that of the Brooks Ghost 17, we recommend you try out the Hyperion Max or the Glycerin Max. And if you want to purchase this shoe for yourself, you can walk into your local Fleet Feet store or find it online at fleetfeet.com. And if you want to learn even more information about this shoe, we have a written review on our blog where we review this shoe and other Brooks shoes in general. But if you appreciate watching these videos and you want to keep learning more about how you can get involved and engage with them, you can leave a comment below and let us know what video you want to see next.